Namaskar. Today's topic is non-singular linear transformation. This topic comes under the syllabus of MSc Maths first sem and in the first paper Linear Algebra 1C1. So our today's topic is non-singular linear transformation. For this, students should know very well about the linear transformation, vector space and etc. So first we define the non-singular linear transformation like this, that a linear transformation T from vector space V to vector space W is said to be non-singular if TV equal to 0 implies V is 0 vector. That is the null space of anti-null space or kernel of the linear transformation is equal to 0. So if for any linear transformation its kernel contains only 0 elements, then such a linear transformation is known as a non-singular transformation. Contrary to this, about singular transformation, a linear transformation T from V to W is said to be singular if there exists some V belongs to V such that V is non-zero and TV equal to 0. Here this linear transformation from V to W, that is null space or kernel space, contains at least one non-zero element. Then we will say that this linear transformation is singular. V to W. Here the linear transformation T is from V to W. So next we define the isomorphism. A linear transformation is an isomorphism if it is 1, 1 on 2 and transformation. So T is a mapping from vector space V to vector space W is an isomorphism if following three conditions are satisfied. The first one is linear transformation T is 1, 1 and onto. 1, 1 onto and linear transformation. If these three conditions are satisfied by a mapping, then we will say that this is an isomorphism. And in this case, we say that V is isomorphic to W and this is denoted as this much. So relating this isomorphism, we are having about the vector spaces that V is isomorphic to W if and only if dimension of the V equal to dimension of the W. So we see here the proof. Let first suppose that V is isomorphic to W and dimension of the V is equal to N. Here V and W both are finite dimension and we have assumed that dimension of the V equal to N, then its basis B will contain N vectors and say V1, V2, Vn is a basis of the vector space V. So next we claim that B1 equal to TV1, TV2 and so on TVn. This is the image set of this B, that for each element V1 we have taken here TV1, TV2 and TVn, and this we will prove or claim that this is a basis for the W. So for any set to be a basis, there are two conditions. The first is linearly independence and the second is spanning property. So one can easily verify that this B1 is linearly independent and the second one, that linear span of B1 is W. So then we are having that dimension of the W is equal to N. Therefore dimension V equal to dimension W equal to N. So conversely, let that dimension V equal to dimension W equal to N, then we will prove that V is isomorphic to W. So here the dimension are same, so we are assuming the basis of V and W let v1, v2, vn be a basis of v, and w1, w2, wn be a basis of the w, and here we define a suitable mapping which is 1 1 on 2 and linear transformation, so that we obtain that v is isomorphic to w. So for this, to define T from vector space V to W, let V belongs to V. There exists a unique scalars A1, A2, alpha 1, alpha 2 and so on alpha n. F belongs to F such that vector V equal to A1 V1, alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 plus so on alpha n Vn. So then we define that TV, the image of the element V under the T, that TV equal to alpha 1 W1 plus alpha 2 W2 plus so on alpha n plus alpha n Wn. So that is T of the alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 plus alpha n Vn equal to alpha 1 W1 plus alpha 2 W2 plus so on plus alpha n Wn. So then one can easily verify. So this I left for students to verify itself, that first is T is well defined, second T is linear transformation, and T is 1 1 and T is on 2. So after verifying that this is linear transformation 1 1 on 2 and well defined, we obtained that V is isomorphic to W. Next theorem for property of n-dimensional vector space, that every n-dimensional vector space over the field F is isomorphic to the space Fn. Here Fn is the n-tuple vector space over F. So we are having that every n-dimensional vector space is isomorphic to Fn. So the proof is easy. Let dimension V equal to n, then we are having the basis for V containing n elements V1, V2 and so on Vn, Bn, ordered basis for V, and we define the mapping from T, mapping T from vector space V to vector space Fn as follows. Let V belongs to V, and for this vector V there exist unique scalars alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n belongs to F such that V equal to alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 plus alpha n Vn, because B is the basis of the vector space V. Therefore for each vector we are having the unique representation in the linear combination of its vectors. So next we define that TV. TV equal to define that we choose these coefficients alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha n and make this as ordered tuple, and alpha 1, alpha 2 and so on alpha n, this is n tuple, and choose from the coefficients of these V1, V2, Vn, and this we define as TV equal to alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n, and this belongs to alpha n. So next you can verify easily that this T is well defined, and to prove that V is isomorphic to Fn, we have to prove that T is an isomorphism, all the three conditions for isomorphism. First we can check that T is a linear transformation, and for this you have to verify T of the alpha x plus beta y equal to alpha tx plus beta ty for all xy belongs to V and alpha beta belongs to F field. Next, to prove that T is 1 1, you have to prove that Tx equal to Ty implies x equal to y, and for onto, to prove T is onto, now for alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n belongings to Fn, we are having there exists alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 plus so on alpha n Vn barabar x belongs to V. So for any vector Fn in field in vector space Fn alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n, we are having there exists alpha 1, alpha 2 belongs to x belongs to V, such that hence V is isomorphic to So in this way we choose one element of the Fn and shown that there exists its pre-image alpha 1 v1 plus alpha 2 v2 plus so on alpha and vn belongs to V. Therefore this is onto mapping, and hence by the 1 1 onto and linearity we can say that V is isomorphic to Fn. Next we see some properties of the composition of mappings, linear transformation. For this we are having U, V and W be three vector spaces over the same field F, and let T and T dash be linear transformations from U to V, and let S and S dash be linear transformation from V to W. Then one can easily see by using the property of composition of mapping that S bracket T plus T dash equal to ST plus ST dash, and S plus S dash into T equal to ST plus S dash T, and alpha of the ST equal to alpha S into T equal to S into alpha T. So here the ST means composition of mapping, to mapping S and T. Next we define the invertible mapping. Let V be a vector space over F and T be mapping from V to V be a linear transformation. Then T is invertible if and only if T is 1 1 and onto. So for any mapping, if it is 1 1 and onto, then we can have the its inverted. T is invertible if and only if T is 1 1 and onto. So each 1 1 and onto mapping is having the inverse. So we define here the inverse. If T is a linear operator on VF and T is invertible, then the inverse mapping T inverse defined as for any y0 equal to tx0, then implies and is implies T inverse y0 equal to x0. For any two element x0 and y0, we define T and T inverse as this much, that y0 equal to tx0 if and only if T inverse y0 equal to x0 for each x0 and y0 belongs to V. This is the definition of invertible mapping. Next we are having for the property of invertible mapping theorem. Let VF and WF be two finite dimensional vector spaces such that dimension V equal to dimension W. If T is a linear transformation from V to W, then the following are equivalent. That T is invertible, and second one is T is non-singular, that is null space of T contains only 0 elements. So these two statements are equivalent for a mapping from V to W. So its proof. First let T from V to W is invertible, then we will show that null space will contain only 0 element. So as T from V to W is invertible, therefore there exists a mapping S from vector space W to V such that ST equal to TS equal to I. Here I is the identity mapping. So first we assume let TV equal to 0, then we try to calculate the value of V. Let TV equal to 0, then on the both side we apply the mapping S. So as TV equal to S0 equal to 0, so as TV equal to 0, and because ST is equal to identity mapping, so IV equal to 0, and therefore this implies that V equal to 0. So for any element, if we choose TV equal to 0, then we obtain V equal to 0. Therefore T is non-singular, that is its kernel will contain only 0 element. Next, for converse part, let T is non-singular, that is its null space or kernel of T contains only 0 element, then T must be 1 1. by the property of kernel, that if its kernel is contain only 0 element, then we have that t is 1 1, and as dimension v equal to dimension w, therefore t is onto. Now as t is 1 1 and onto, therefore t is invertible. So we have shown that if dimension v equal to w and t be a linear transformation from v to w, then these two statements are equivalent, that this is t is invertible and t is non-singular. So next we see the example which will calculate for a invertible mapping, inverse of the mapping. Let t be a linear operator on R3. Here R3 means tuple vector space R3. So txyz is the definition of linear transformation. Txyz is this 2x, 4x minus y, 2x plus 3y minus z. So here we have to show that this t is invertible, and second part is find t inverse. To show that t is invertible, that is t is non-singular, so we calculate here its null space. Let xyz belongs to anti-null space or kernel of t. This implies t xyz equal to 0 0 0. So by applying the definition of t, this 2 leads us to 2x, 4x minus y, 2x plus 3y minus z equal to 0 0 0. So we have to compare each coordinate and solve this. Then we will obtain the solution that x equal to 0, y equal to 0 and z equal to 0. Therefore the null space is contain only 0 element, 0 0 0. Therefore t is non-singular, and so t is invertible. Next we calculate its inverse. Let t inverse rst equal to xyz, then t xyz equal to rst. So applying the definition of t, 2x, 4x minus y, 2x plus 3y minus z, this is equal to rst. So comparing the each component of these tuples, so 2x equal to r, 4x minus y equal to s, and 2x plus 3y minus z equal to t. So we solve these three equations for xyz and obtain the value x equal to 1 by 2r, y equal to 2r minus s, and z equal to 7r minus 3s minus t. Therefore t inverse rst, we put the value of xyz and obtain t inverse rst equal to 1 by 2r, 2r minus s, 7r minus 3s minus t. So this is the value of t inverse mapping. So in today's lecture we have discussed the non-singular linear transformation, its equivalent property and details. So for more details and examples, you can see the reference book. So thank you. I am Dr. R.P. Somani, Associate Professor in Maths. Thank you.